Okay, so in this tutorial, I'm gonna create a curtain for our window. So let me select my building, then I'm gonna shift click and drag it here to make a copy. I'm gonna place it near origin. Fine. Since I'm going to be building a curtain for this part, then I'm gonna place this area or opening near the origin. So with that one selected, I'm gonna go under export and export selected. And make sure that Flip YZ axis is on, then hit on export. Done. Now let's go to Marvelous Designer and press Ctrl Shift N to bring our object. I'm gonna select this one that I just exported. I guess by default the unit here is centimeter, but I'm gonna use the millimeter since we're trying to make the simulation faster. So hit OK. Now I'm gonna grab my rectangle tool and create a rectangle this size. Make sure the sync button is on. Fine. Then I'm gonna bring one like so, this size, with both selected. I'm going to move them around so they're facing the window. Now I'm gonna make this one a little smaller, so this should be fine. Okay, then I'm gonna select this one that is sew segment, or you can use this one in 3D window and sew these two parts together. Let me undo first and make sure that they are in a straight line. Now I'm gonna select this one and go freeze pattern only and hit the spacebar. Okay, so this should be fine. Then I'm gonna let go the spacebar, or rather hit it again, select my freeze pattern and bring it down. And by the way, you should also make sure that you have the ground collision on here. Okay, a little more. So we're getting there. Then I'm gonna select this one, and you could move this one around if you want. I hold down W key and click and drag so to pin some of those points. Okay, let's say that this one's what I want. So now I select my curtain and go here under the particle distance, and I'm gonna set the distance between the edges, the minimum amount, or rather the maximum amount, to 4. Okay, let's go for 3. Now I'm gonna press Ctrl W to remove all of the pins. And after a couple of frames, hit a space. Okay, so let's say this is the curtain that I want. So I'm gonna delete this one since I don't really need this one. Let's go under File and Export OBJ. I'm gonna export for max. And that's gonna be a millimeter. And I do not need the avatar. only the cloth object and unified UVW coordinates. So this should be fine. Let's hit OK. Now let me minimize this one and go to another software. This one is called Mesh Lab. That is a free software, so I'm gonna use this one to decimate our mesh. I'm gonna go under File and Import Mesh. Then click on our object. And the keyboard shortcut for orbiting around is Alt and middle mouse click and drag. So here's my curtain. Now I go under Filters and under Reconstruction Remeshing. There is a decimation option. So I'm gonna select this one. And here's the option box. Under the percent reduction, I'm gonna type in 0.25. So it's gonna be keeping 25% of the mesh. And make sure preserve topology is on. And hit apply. Great, now hit close. So let's go to File and Export Mesh As. I'm gonna again export it as OBJ. So click on Format and yes. Then here's the option box. You could only click on OK. Even though I do not really need the color of the faces since it didn't have anything or the vertex colors, but that's fine. Let's click on OK. Now let's minimize this one, and in Max I'm gonna go under File, Import and Import Non-Native Files, and here click on For Max. Make sure that Flip YZ axis is on and click on Import. Okay, so here's our curtain, which again, as I told you, it's 1/10 of the actual scale. So I'm gonna scale it up. Let's go again to perspective mode and press R, or you could press F12. And here I'm gonna type in 1000 and bring this one here. Okay, so in fact it's I guess the other way around, so this should be here. So that's basically how you can create curtains and other objects, other garments in Marvelous Designer, and then use the Mesh Lab to decimate your mesh, and from there you could bring it in Max. Again, the reason that I used millimeter in importing into Marvelous Designer was that I didn't want to work in real world scales, since this height is about 3-something meters, and it would take a long time to simulate the curtain this high in Marvelous Designer. So I decided to use millimeter, and then we brought it here and I just scaled it up. But when we're going to create some other furniture such as couches or sofas or even bed, you better work in real world scales. As long as your object is not that big, you better work in real world scales, so you will be getting a lot more natural wrinkles and other stuff. But again, since this curtain was not really important for me in terms of wrinkles and folds and shapes, so I decided to make the simulation faster.